So below is the specification of a scale object. So this is the URL where all the whole Go program is there, and this specification describes the scale object custom resource definition, that is CRD, which is used to define how keda should scale your application and what the triggers are. The .spec .scale target ref section hold the reference to the target resource. It can be a deployment, a stateful set, and a custom resource. So let's go one by one attributes. So this is a simple YAML configuration that can be used to define a scaled object resource Kubernetes using the keda, that is Kubernetes based event driven auto scaling API. So first one is API version. Specify the API version of the scaled object resource, which is in the case that keda.shv1 alpha 1. The kind specifies the type of the resource being defined, which is in our case is a scaled object. The metadata section used to provide the metadata about the resource, including the name of the scaled object, that is scale object hyphen scaled hyphen object hyphen name is a placeholder that should be replaced with a unique name. The spec. This section defines the actual configuration of the scaled object. It includes the following parameters. The scale target ref. The parameter specifies the Kubernetes resource that should be scaled by keda. The API version, kind, and name parameter are used to identify the target resource. So the polling interval. The parameter specifies how often keda should check the target resource for new events that might trigger the scaling. The default value is 30 seconds. Cooldown period. This parameter specifies the amount of time that keda should wait before scaling down the resource after it has been scaled up. Default value is 300 seconds. Idle replica count. This parameter specifies the minimum number of replicas that should be kept running even if there is no traffic. The default value is 0. Minimum replica count. This parameter specifies the minimum number of replicas that should be running at all times. The default value is 1. The max replica count. This parameter specifies the maximum number of replicas that should be running at a given time. The default value is 100. And in case of minimum replica, that is an optional and default is 0. Okay. The fallback. This section maximum replica count. This parameter specifies the maximum number of replicas that should be running at given point of time. Default value is 0. 100. The fallback. This section is used to specify options for a fallback deployment in case of scaling is unsuccessful. It includes the failure threshold and the replica parameters. The advanced section. This section is used to specify advanced options for the scaled object, such as whether to restore the original replica count after scaling and how to configure the HPA, that is horizontal port autoscaler. The triggers. This section specifies the list of triggers that should be used to activate the scaling of the target resource. This will typically include one or more resources such as Azure Service Bus, Kafka, and RabbitMQ, as well as the custom matrix or HTTP request. The exit configuration for each trigger will depend upon the specific event source and the matrix being used. So that's it for this video. See you in the next video.